know my Lord likes me. Cause every time I close my eyes, I think of you. Let's go. How y'all doing today? Happy Friday to you all. I am back. This your girl Jay. We are back with another round. Child, we are back. Okay. These people will not stop interviewing. Okay. They just will not stop interviewing. So that means that I just cannot stop reviewing and break down these interviews that I see, because there's a little war going on in the community, you know what I'm saying, the Love is Blind community, and the Reddit, the Instagram posts, the TikTok. There's a war. There's a great debate going on. Who was right between Tim and Alex? Okay. There's people that's out here that's big team Tim and big team Alex. All right. And I hate to burst y'all bubbles, but y'all should be team yourselves, because these anything y'all want to be a part of. Okay. This is team failure. These two are team failure. All right. Nothing personal against them too, but baby, they both are peas in the pot and they got a lot to work on individually. That's why they was never going to make it as a couple. All right. But shout out to y'all that are here with me to go down this latest video. Whose podcast this is real quick. Let me look at it. Positively Uncensored Podcast. I have left the link down below. Alex has done another one, another podcast interview. And yeah, so I'm going to break that down today. Welcome on in. Come on in. Thank you all for being here. That's here. Thank you, Miss Kaiser Sose and Demita Joe, for telling me that my hair is cute, baby. I had to do the fro hawk today because it was doing what it wanted to do, and the ponytail was not going to give another day. Okay, it just wasn't going to do another day. So we're here with the fro hawk of it all. But come on in, everybody. If you're new here, please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop a lime heart or any type of heart up in there. Oh my God, who is at my door now? Please give me 1 second, okay? Let me put y'all on hold real quick. Let me see who is at my house. Lord Jesus. And if this is Amazon, just drop the package. Just drop the package. Y'all don't need to announce yourselves. You know what? I'll be right back though. Let me see. Where's my music? I can't play those. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. It's like they know when you push live or something. Hello. Hi, kitty. Anywho, let's get into this, okay? So let's break down, so it can forever be broken, this great debate on who is right between Tim and Alex. What happened in Mexico? Let's see if we could put together the pieces from the few interviews that she has done. Tim, I don't have any. If anybody has an interview on Tim, please send it my way so I can check it out, see what he has to say. But TV show as well as on the reunion, okay? So let's see what we get into. We're gonna start off here with a little bit, the girls is talking. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna jump around in this video. Like I said, this description is down in the link is in the description box below. I will be jumping around in this video quite a little bit. Just want to knock one part out the way real quick. So we're gonna jump into that real quick because y'all killing me with this whole little hate on Nick thing is killing me. Okay, I don't know why y'all want to hate on Nick so bad, but I'm gonna let y'all girls have it, and then I'll get y'all straight after y'all done. Okay, but we're gonna jump into this little part, and then we're gonna jump into Mexico.
Prior to filming this season of DC, there was tons of chatter online about how the dating pool in DC was pits. And so I'm curious if after you've representation of
everyone who has said, oh, this was a terrible season, or this is how, this season went this way or this or that way. And everyone who's from here is like, this is exactly what it looks like to date in DC. And we have people that, and I'm not speaking on anyone's particular relationship, but you have people who are not fully honest on who they are, or you have people who live at home and think they're this when they're not. And no shade to Nick on that. It happens.
Why they always like to be like, no shade to Nick on that, but you say Nick, but you don't say whoever's on this show is on this show being dishonest. Nobody ever called out Tyler, Nobody ever called out Ashley and Tyler for about authentication and being authentic and living in their truth and being honest. Elsie, the link is for the later one, sweetheart. It's for the later one. I'm just trying to figure out. Y'all love to call out Nick like Nick did something wrong when half of y'all come onto this TV show to be seen. Now, him living in the basement is a whole different thing. But if it's indicative of DC living and DC dating, shouldn't we see it? Shouldn't he be authentic to that? If the man has a plan on buying his own house instead of wasting money on apartments and things out in DC, which I'm sure the cost of living is not really cheap, wouldn't it be wise for him to stay at home, stack up his chips, and then find the place that he wants to stay in for his mortgage life? I don't know. It just be killing me because, I'm gonna go into the Marissa one, hopefully today, if I get through this kind of quickly. And then, because they love shooting shots at Nick, and I'm just like, baby, Nick is not gonna save anything that y'all did. Y'all trying to switch the conversation to Nick is not gonna take it off of y'all. If y'all want to switch the conversation and get it off of y'all, go to Ashley and Tyler, who y'all constantly protecting. Okay, y'all are constantly like shielding them too. Y'all don't never sit here and want the focus off of y'all that bad. Because if y'all did, y'all will put it on Ashley and Tyler. Like, y'all should be paying attention to people out here with kids that didn't say they really got kids, you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole different story. Now she can't let shade someone's living situation. Well, she gonna tell us that she usually clean, you know what I'm saying? Hey, when you have to clean up for either company or, you got a little shoot that you putting on real quick, you'll have a spot in your house clean, you get it. Not savers who stay at home, baby. You know what I'm saying? Please save and stay at home. But while you save it, make sure you put me in that house that you're going to save for so I can save too. That's what I'm saying. They keep calling out Nick like Nick did some major thing wrong. He wrote down some things saying that he want to be a big star on this show. Like, okay, well, guess what? You all are making him a star. Every time y'all go on a podcast, guess who lives rent free in y'all brain? Nick. Y'all throw shots and highlight Nick every time. We will not, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Us, the audience, will not be thinking about a Nick right now. We will not be talking about a Nick right now if y'all would stop bringing Nick up. Y'all making Nick famous, not us. So y'all should thank yourselves for contributing and manifesting that man's dreams. Hell, let me tell y'all my dreams so y'all can talk about me everywhere y'all want to go. So I can be manifested in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Please. This is crazy. That what you know what? And this is the funny part because I think it's Marissa's interview. They're talking about being authentic self, and there's a part of Marissa that I disagree and agree with her at the same time in her interview. She goes into talking about, you know, she didn't know that she should have been calculated or whatever and stuff like that. That being her most authentic self wasn't good for reality TV. And I'm like here to tell you, actually, being your most authentic self is what reality TV loves the most. The thing is that you cannot worry about who loves you and who hates you, especially when you're being yourself. That's the problem that Marissa seems to struggle with. Who likes her and who hates her when she's being herself? Who gives a F who hates you when you being yourself? You're you. The thing about you is not supposed to please everybody. It's not going to please everybody. You could be the most polite, loving, beautifulest person in the world. Somebody's still going to hate you for some reason, ungodly to them. Like, it does not matter. So why are we invested in the people who don't like you? Be your authentic self. This is why Tim is going to, in this interview that we have here, he's going to have a problem later because he stopped trying to be his authentic self, or he wasn't his authentic self in the first place. Either way it goes, the mask fell off somewhere, and we get this whole insecurity that starts to build up because he starts worried about what people think of him. So what? If you love and are comfortable with yourself, it should not matter. You love you. You love you. If you love you, it should not matter who else loves you or don't. Actually, it matters who loves you, but it shouldn't matter who don't love you. That's the thing when I tell my friends about situations that they're in and say they have a partner that's complaining about a part of them. Is that part of you changeable? Is that part of you something that you don't like that you're willing to change? If that's the case, then fine, by all means, try to change that thing. But if it's not something that you're not willing to change or you just don't see yourself ever changing, why? Why change it? That's just not your life partner. And hopefully you're not stuck into that marriage or situation that you can't sit here and get out of it. You know what I'm saying? But there's parts of you that people are just not going to like. And if it's not a major part that you feel like you need to change right away, like it's not a really bad thing or something that you get every time you go and encounter people, they complain about it. It's just this one person complaining. Well, why change it? I cannot run a successful kitchen restaurant business and have one customer come in and say they don't like this on the menu. Okay, don't eat that on the menu. There's so many other things on this menu to order. And if you don't like anything on this menu, find you another restaurant. But if you're the only complaint that I have, I'm not changing my menu. I'm not changing that item. Now, if I get tens on hundreds of complaints about that one item, then yeah, I might need to do something about it. That's how I figure out like you should be about your life. If you constantly getting complaints about something about you, then maybe if that's something that you can change, you should change it. But if it's not, then guess what? F it. Everybody else got to deal with it. Can't change ADHD. I don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Something you can work on. If you're a hyper person, I don't know. You just find more people around you to be a little bit more calmer. I don't know. They might actually, more calm people might make you more hyper. Maybe you need some more hyper people around you to make you look less hyper. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not something you can actually change, don't change it. Like, don't. So Nick, be you, baby. It's gonna like you in your parents' basement and all. You know. That's it. It's when all of them wanted the certain athletes, so they just take it all athletes because they didn't get the one they want. You did. That's how I look at it. Anyways, let's get to the meat and greet. Meat and greet. Meat and potatoes of this thing. Okay, let's get into what really happened in Mexico. Now, mind you, okay, so one of her connections, which is kind of funny because Ashley talks about this on an interview with Raven-Symoné and her lady. She talked about it on an interview, how Tyler was her number one and Tim was her number two. And like in this, it seemed like Tim was Alex's number one, and Tyler was Alex's number two. And Alex talks about how she didn't want to sit here and really divulge too much information to the girls because your homegirl might be the one who's dating the one that you like the most, and they might have them at the number one and stuff. I'm like, okay, ladies, did y'all like just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go this route, you go that route, we'll figure it out. But to be honest with you, I can see why Alex more so ended up with Tim over Ashley. Ashley's a bit more outspoken. I think she's less passive when it comes to being cut off. I could see her being a little bit more like, hey, you just cut me off type, where Alex is, okay, you cut me off, but continue, because in the descriptions that they give, and as the lady had read them off, the description that you give is when you say that I get along with people very well, is that you allow people to be them and you figure out how you maneuver around them. So you're pliable to yourself, is pliable to them, to meaning that you can go ahead and reshape and redefine parts about you to make that person feel comfortable. And I think that's what she did for Tim a lot in the pods, is that she made him feel real comfortable. And he just was talking. And funny enough, Tim likes to say that his love language is listening. I think his love language is a woman who listens to him. I don't really think it's a listening, because he struggles a little bit on that listening part, but so does this one. So we're going to see. Anywho, let's get into this. What really happened in Mexico?
And that was actually one of my questions, because I wanted to get to Mexico next, because that seemed like the canon event. But finding out that you guys have had other disagreements, when you had those, do you feel like you were given space, or like were your boundaries respected during those disagreements?
No. And even when I've explained this, I feel like people still took it a different way. And so I kind of actually do want to like clear the air on that as well. So when it came to Mexico, yes, I had my own reservations about like family, but regardless, as you saw, I'm very close to my family, and my dad and I talk every day. So going into like day 15, 16, whatever, not speaking to him was weighing on me. And then of course people, have been drinking and partying, and it's just like your emotions just are heavier at that point. But when I got to the hotel room, I had explained like, it's not you. I just want to go take a shower and go to bed. That literally was not good enough. And I don't know who else thinks that's not good enough, but unfortunately.
Okay. So I know this is part of the big debate that we do be having back and forth. Did she say enough? Should I be able to reassure you that it's not you without having to go into deep dive discussion on what the actual issue is? Yes, I should be able to do that. I actually really should be able to do that. There are some people out there that are just not going to let you do it. Tim is one of them people. Tim is one of them people that's not going to let you do it. Why he's not going to let you do it? It'll be explained a little bit later. We'll get to that part, but there are certain factors to Tim that, because like I said before, he's either lost his mask or he was wearing a mask in the first place. Now he is worried that the people are seeing him with who he is, for who he is. If you're your authentic self, you shouldn't matter. If you are your authentic self, it should not matter if people see you for who you are, because you have been who you are. Now, there's many facets to us. Okay, so there's many facets to us that you can be an ambivert, meaning that around a selected part of people that you're extrovert. You're out there. You're always doing something. You're the life of the party. There's things that you're the entertainment, and then there's spaces and places that you're introvert. I'm that person. I'm definitely that person. I have many facets to me that there's times that I'm upbeat and I'm very lively and stuff, and then there's just times that I'm really chill. There's times that I'm touchy-feely with everybody, and there's times I don't want to be touched. That is human. That's a human trait to be. You can be many things, but you should be yourself all the time. And when you're trying to pretend to be something because you know that people are watching or the cameras are on or all these things, you put more added pressure to yourself. And when you put that added pressure to yourself, then you start making these rookie mistakes. Place yourself in more of an importance in somebody's life than you, only to find out you're not as important as you thought you were in that person's life. Great disappointment. Don't do it to yourself. I'm gonna tell you, don't do it to yourself. You got to ground yourself somehow. You know what I'm saying? Hey, DL. Hey, high vibes. You got to ground yourself. Okay. Let's see what more she got to say, because we got more. We got a lot more. Actually, let me put this on a better playback speed. Go 1.5. I think that's not too bad.
Like, that just wasn't good enough for him at the moment. And it wasn't him just saying, oh, I was trying to love you and I was trying to be there. He was not supportive. In that moment, he led with yelling, like led with aggression, and led with his hand like in my face. You're going to talk to me. You're going to tell me what's wrong with you. Why are you upset? Who said something to you? And when you saw that I said, he thought I was calling him insecure. I had said, you're projecting your own insecurities onto me, because he had literally said, who said something to you? What did they say about me? And I'm like, nobody said anything about you. This has nothing to do with you. And it just kept intensifying and intensifying. And I don't think it's also an excuse to say my voice carries, because it's kind of you trying to gloss over the fact or give yourself the privilege or the okay to raise your voice when it's not okay. Your volume is not okay. Your demeanor is not okay. It is not appropriate. You are being very offensive. And I did not feel safe in that moment. And not saying I didn't feel like he would do something physical. I just didn't feel safe to even open up to him, because now I'm being yelled at. So.
Right.
And I definitely get that part. I get that part of somebody talking to me a certain type of way. Now I do not feel safe to even share what kind of feelings that I'm having on the inside, or, I'm just not at a calm space to actually say what it is that I need to say in a matter which is not going to come off of as offensive or belittling or condescending, or just get out my face because you're getting on my nerves right now. You know what I'm saying? I get that part. My question to this would be is, when did he actually lead with that particular attitude? Was it on his chase to you down the hallways of the hotel? Was it when he followed you into the bathroom? Was it 10, 15 minutes after you decided, okay, it's time for production to get our phones back? My question would be, exactly at what point did he lead with that? Because from what I gathered from the last interview is that he did follow you when you kind of stormed off or whatnot, and it sounded like he was probably asking you what's wrong. And how it sounded and it came across to me is that he didn't get the what's wrong right away. So automatically he went into insecurities, which is not of your fault, Alex, but there it is some fault of yours, because if you're saying I ran off, he watched me have a good time, we're laughing and giggling, all of a sudden I run off in tears, I run to the bathroom and I get in there and I just want to take a shower and I just want to just not deal with it, but he's asking what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, and you're just saying I want to take a shower, I don't want to deal with it. That doesn't tell him what's wrong. He needs to understand. He needs to understand, why is it all of a sudden you go from laughing to crying? These are still new traits to him. He don't know if you bipolar. No defense, no offense to people that are, you know what I'm saying? But he don't know that. He don't know if you're going through a manic depressive phase or any type of depression or anything like this. I don't know what all y'all talked about in the pods. If you had said you deal with mental illness or anything like that, he does not know what's happening. So this is the time for you to explain, hey, homesick right now. Trying not to think about it so I don't feel more homesick. Give me a minute. If all of that was said and he acted a certain way, then yeah. But if you're like running in there and just like, I want to take a shower, I don't want to talk about it, any rational person is going to think that they did something wrong, especially thinking about how they're going to run back all the things that happened in the day and they're going to think, I might have did something wrong. Now, this is still no reason for him to start to escalate and carry on, as she puts it. You know what I'm saying? It's no reason for him to yell. There's no reason for him to get hot and tempered or whatever. Your insecurity should never let you get into a hostile state. Just back up, give the person time. Try to dumb it down in your brain that is about you. If you're that type of guy, Tim, as you say you are, is that you would just remove yourself before you get into an argument. Remove yourself. Alex, upon meeting people, first time around people, not know you, you must define who you are to people as they're learning you. Sometimes you come with a disclaimer because you know yourself so well. I just, these two right here is just like seriously, two peas in a pod. It's just one pea is on the more calm spectrum and the other pea is on the radical spectrum. You know what I'm saying? But they're the same, they're in the same pod. They're twinning. Like, these two are really twinning. It makes absolutely no sense. This conversation did not to be this way. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. If it was about your dad and you're your girl's dad, then you should have been able to say this thing. Hey, some thoughts of my dad just came up, and I'm still dealing with that. He's still in the hospital and I'm feeling some type of way. This is my partner. This is the person I agreed to marry. I'm wearing his dead sister's bracelets at this point right now. Let me go ahead. So that's why I'm like, you're saying you didn't feel safe, but at what point did you actually justify to him that it wasn't about him to make him feel safe? That would be my question. This lady never asked that question, so we don't know the answer to that. But I would love to know, at what point during all of this did you actually tell Tim, hey, this is not about you. This is about something personal that I got going on. That's how I can figure out who is actually writing this, because right now it's sounding like you're not too right, Alex. He escalated your wrong, but it don't sound like you too right now. Hold Sorry. This house is freezing. It's windy outside. Child. Ugh, let me see some of y'all think. Let's see what y'all had to say. Agree. What makes you hostile when a person asks for space? That's a time to be sensitive to their emotions and understanding and what they're going through. Child, you know Tim is incapable of that. Yeah, they be telling him a story in the pod, child. I was watching. They be telling him a story about his stuff. He be like, all right, cool, but let me get back to this. Beyonce had the greatest record of all time. Child, he did not be caring. He don't care. He do not care. If it was about their, I think you said her dad, the girls would have known too. A side eye that after what Monica said, things seemed off. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe she didn't want to bring it up to the girls. Oh, y'all having a sidebar. Okay. Twin, where have you been? You feel me? These two of the things. Sometimes you just need a nap. That's what she needed, baby. She needed a little nap. Oh, my days. Did y'all find out? I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I don't know where our lead investigator is. I don't know where our local scout is. Where's our local scout? It's cold everywhere, child. I don't know what's happening. They playing with the weather again. Okay. Do you know they gonna tell the story? That's my thing. They gonna tell a story to fit themselves. But this is funny, you know. Marissa don't be holding nobody accountable, but who she want to hold accountable. But we're gonna get into that, you know, as we do. All right. But let me get back to this. Don't say it's too early for a Tyler update, and never too early, baby. We just need to know if he went to court or not.
And as all of this is happening, cameras are outside of your room and you're not wanting things to get to them and be recorded, correct?
So it was my two producers that were outside. I didn't want them to go bring cameras. We didn't have cameras exactly outside of our room. We had two producers and they were waiting on us to give them our phone back. And I could not calm down. I was like, I can't even open the door because you're yelling and I need you to calm down before I go back out there. And they were literally just waiting. I didn't know how thin the walls were. Like, we're in the bathroom of our hotel and they're outside of our hotel room. And he was yelling that loud that I felt like they could hear him. So, you know, I just didn't want the cameras to potentially be a thing.
And you've already mentioned, you know, like
they were yelling that loud that you feel like they can hear them or they could hear him. Because if I'm in a closed space and the person is like right here up on me, yeah, it's going to sound louder than they are. So, ma'am, was he yelling loud enough for them to hear him? Because there is a difference. You can you know the difference. You know the difference if a person is yelling loud enough that somebody can hear them. Like right now, I'm escalating my voice just to talk to y'all, but I know for sure my neighbors cannot hear me. Now, if I start talking like this, I think they can hear me if they close enough to their daggone window. But yeah. I'm just saying, I need more info on that. Lady ma'am, doing the interview. I know you're focused on your questions, but I need more questions on that. All right. And now it went from the cameras being outside to two producers outside. And you're worried about the producers going to get the cameras. Baby, the conversation be over by the time they get the cameras. Baby, the conversation will be over. Guess what? Guess why the conversation be over? Because I'm opening that door. Here's the phone. Here you go. Because we're done. We're done. I don't feel safe. Guess what? I don't feel safe enough to divulge my emotions to this man anymore. So let me open this door because this conversation is done. If he wants to keep talking, he can talk until y'all go get the cameras. But I'm opening the door. So if he wants to make a behind of himself, which I doubt he does, he ain't. Guess why? Because I'm going to open these doors and he going to get quiet because he don't want to be seen or come across as something else because he already told me before we got into, once we got into Mexico, and I don't know if she got to that space to say that already. She might have said it already. But once they got into Mexico, he already said that he's feeling some type of way and that people are going to see him different. And the girls had agreed that Tim was being different from what they met in the pods. Meaning that he's now more aware that the cameras are there, and how Ashley has described how the cameras are in the pods, that they're behind glass, that you don't really see them. Yeah, he hasn't noticed the camera there. Now we're noticing people walking around with cameras, microphones, all these different things, kind of like staging the whole look yeah, he's going to be a little bit more different. He's going to be a little more less lax or whatever than he was in the pods. He didn't have nobody else to talk to when he was in the pod. Now there's so many people around him that he still can't really talk to, but they're there. Not everybody is used to cameras in the face. So I get that. But that also should have rang some bells, Miss Listening, that when he starts to say, is it about me? Did somebody say something about me? That the focus is back about Tim. You should have noticed that in the pod, sweetie. But, there's also that. All right.
Like, you've had relationships in the past. Everybody has their own things that come up in relationships. And it may just be, I don't feel safe either communicating myself or otherwise when someone's tone outweighs mine, or when there's not a lapse in space in the air for me to respond. You just feel wildly misunderstood. Yeah. And this started because I think you said on another platform, you were all that happened was you were emotional missing your parents. You were feeling the same emotions that Marissa was feeling about Ramses towards Tim. And you just really wanted the space for yourself. And I feel like I'm very similar. So please correct me if I'm misunderstanding, but I'm the type of person where when I can't best communicate myself, I'd rather take some time because I'm so emotional that perhaps what I'm feeling may not be articulated well. And that's a good enough reason to just not want to have a conversation in that moment.
Yeah. Over the years, I've been the type who has, what you say, word vomit. And one of my boundaries that I have with myself is if I'm in a very emotional space, I do not speak immediately, because I don't want to speak out of emotion and say something that is just coming simply from emotion, not logic. I didn't want to say anything that would be offensive, or even just
like calling a man a B. You don't want to talk too fast because you might call a man a B. You want to take your time before you say anything because you might call a man a B. I guess calling a man a B ain't too offensive. Not for Alex. I don't know. This might be. I mean, where she come from, they might call each other bees all the time. I don't know. Some people joke like that. Some people joke like that. You know what I'm saying? Not everywhere joke like that, but maybe where she's from, that's just part of their language. It was just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It was just a little bit. It wasn't a big B. She didn't call him a big B. She called him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it was just a little offensive. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know. I guess y'all just can't. I can't make this stuff up. They writing it, not me. This is her. This is her in live action talking about she don't want to be offensive. I don't know. Can I ask a question, lady interviewer? Can I ask what's offensive to you, Alex? What do you deem as offensive? What do you think men feel is offensive, Alex? You know what I'm saying? Can you answer that for 10, Alex? Can I ask that question for 200, Alex? Please. I just want to know. I guess when the day that one of these men act like one in real time and cat fight you, girl, that's the day you gonna know it was a little offensive, huh? I don't know. Okay, I hope this is the first and last. I doubt it's the first, but I hope it's the last time it rolls off your tongue, ma'am. Because it rolled off twice. The second time you didn't really say it, but you doubled down on what you said the first time.
I always like to take time to process and just take a moment. And at that moment, I didn't want to lash out on him because I'm upset when it literally had nothing to do with him. So that's why I'm just like, I need a second. And that's all I needed. And I wasn't granted that.
So you wasn't granted that. So you called him Little B. That's why y'all gonna hate me for this one right here. This is why she could be on my villain list. Y'all know I be making villain lists for all these shows, right? Alex is on my villain list for this right here. This lady's a hardcore villain. Say what? You prevented yourself from calling him out his name, all of this stuff, but because he didn't give you the space and you chose not to walk away, you decided, you know what? F it. F it. I'm going there now. I'm going there. You know what? Stop acting like a little bit. Why you acting like a shout out to Too Short. Come on, son. I cannot make this up. I shouldn't be laughing this hard, but it's hilarious. Say what now? Say what? I didn't want to call him out his name. I didn't want to go there. I didn't, want to provoke any more or incite a June 6th riot, a January 6th riot. I did not want to do any of these things. But you know what? Make America great again, damn it. F it. F it. The hell? What the hell is Alex talking about? I can't take her serious. I can't take her serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Blow the whistle. Oh, jeez. Oh, Jesus. Oh, these people here, they just the gift that keep on giving because they provide me. I should be taking this serious. I really should, because it is wrong. It is wrong. Men have said they are offended. The men have spoken. They are offended by being called little bees, Alex. Okay, you need to change this, ma'am. You cannot be out here calling the men's little bees, no matter how much they may portray the character. That is not their character name. You cannot do that, okay? They portray the character on a 24/7 without cameras rolling basis, but you cannot, ma'am. You just cannot label that character, okay? You cannot label it what it is. You just can't do that. You can't do it. Not out loud. You got to keep it in your head, maybe even in your friend group, but you cannot do it out loud, okay, ma'am? It's not allowed. Oh, this lady.
Communicated to you, like, because we all carry our trauma. So like, had he ever communicated to you at any point when we drop a conversation, it makes me feel abandoned? Or had anything ever been communicated behind the scenes that may explain why he can't drop something?
No, none of we hadn't gotten that far yet. Where we had to deal with adversity and how we handle it, what happens, stuff like that. I guess we just had to go through it.
Absolutely.
And see in the moment. But I know for me, my one thing that I did have with us is I would always tell him, like, I don't want to go to bed angry. So I knew I was going to talk to him before, but that was the one rule I had. I just don't want us to go to bed angry with each other. And for about like 8 nights that we were together, we went to bed angry. And I don't know. I just felt like in that relationship, my boundaries and what I wanted out of it were never really fully respected. And I just felt like I was losing myself.
And I feel like
all right. Let me talk about this in a normal setting, okay? In a normal setting, in a normal situation, had you not called this man a B already prior. Y'all arguing so much in the beginning like this, done. You don't want to go to bed mad, but every night you still going to bed mad, and done. Your boundaries being crossed, done. And I am generally of the manner of, as we're learning each other, we give a little bit more grace or whatever and stuff. But these sound like kind of rule breakers for Alex. So for me, it's like, why do you keep pushing through? You're pushing through this relationship for what reason? Because you done called him a B. So now you're marrying somebody that you feel is like a B or going to need to be called a B from time to time. With no remorse, you called him this. Because I have yet to hear her say she's sorry for it. I have not once heard her say she's sorry for it. He's pushing all your boundaries. Y'all going to bed angry all the time. I'll be done. I don't know. I'll be done. I get bonding in the pod is a lot different. I mean, I guess in this day and age, it's a lot different. It just reminds me back in school, like, because we didn't have social media like that. Yeah, I am the age that I am. Y'all do understand this. I look a whole different age, but I am the age that I am. So I am from the era a little bit before technology really kicked in. I'm like where Zach Morris had the big old cell phones. Cell phones came in a briefcase. The IBM was a big old machine. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a computer. It was a big old machine and stuff like that. I grew up through all of that phase. I watched all of these changes into social media. So therefore, this just reminds me when you had your summer crush or something like that, somebody that you didn't really that you just had a short period of time, so everything just went fast in that relationship. And you guys probably brushed over a lot of the main important red flags that was there, that was highlighting themselves, because of course you're young and dumb. But in this process, I just don't see the value. Like, okay, we made it to Mexico, we made it out the pods. I don't know why I'm trying to keep pushing through. I know relationships is more than just this, and there's going to be some rough days, but if we're having so many rough days at the beginning, I don't know. I just feel like there needs to be an outweigh of the rough days for me. You know what I'm saying? That's just for me. I think that the rough days should be a little bit lower, or a lot of bit lower than our good days. But it's like every time I hear her speak, it's always like the bad is outweighing the good. So to me, in my head, it's just like, why are we continue to fight through this relationship? Thank you, Trey Mac. She pushing for a 15-minute of fame. Not y'all saying he's a bite side B. Y'all be good. Don't do it back like that. You know what I'm saying? I was just, them girls, I was going to get right back. And a do Jay like that. Come on, man. Tim was just out here, you know, in his emotions, emotions make you cry sometimes. He thought you and Marissa was talking about him. We don't know what happened just before then. Maybe y'all was talking about him just before then. Maybe he didn't do something right just before then. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, Tim thinks the world of Tim. All right, Alex, you need to understand this. All right, ma'am. You should have known that in the pods when Tim cut you off, but I guess it didn't matter because, like Trey said, you wanted your 15 minutes. So here you go. I'm giving you all 20. I like to give you a little extra, little grace.
This is important to clarify for anyone who's listening, because so in Mexico, that's when your boundaries were completely disregarded. But in other disagreements, was the communication style the same? Him not dropping a conversation, or did you also did you have that feeling more times than just Mexico prior? Like
just him not speaking or something? Yeah.
Yeah, like shutting you down or pushing a conversation when you're not.
Her question was more times in Mexico prior to that argument. And you got that many times that you feel like this before Mexico, ma'am? Don't get on my nerves, Alex. Okay, I like you, girl. You very beautiful. You be dressing your little behind off. Don't get on my nerves. Don't get on my nerves. Because listen to the question. Listen, Alex, you stopped listening at some point. Okay, you were listening to all that BS fluff Tim was telling you. Now you're not listening. The lady asked you, was this prior? Was this through the whole relationship or prior, Alex? Don't just be saying, yeah.
Not able to.
Mm-hmm. It happened a few times. One conversation we had in particular, I remember we were filming, I think it was the last day in Mexico. And when we were filming, he whispered in my ear, he's like, oh, remind me to tell you something when we're done. And I was like, okay. And then when the cameras left, we're just on the couch, just like relaxing. And he was like, oh, I forgot to tell you. I didn't like that you made fun of me about not knowing how to open up a beer bottle. And I was just like, I'm a bartender. It was just a joke. I don't actually think you can open a beer bottle, but I'm literally a bartender, like 10 years in the game. And so I don't know. And so he was just like, well, you would like to embarrass me. And I'm like, I really wasn't trying to. And that turned.
All right, Tim, Tim, this is to you. Because people like this, just y'all, I'm not going to say y'all get on my nerves, but y'all just can't be around me. Y'all can't be around me. You can't be around my family. You can't be around my friends. We're going to talk some ish, and don't play cards. Okay. Do not play cards or any board game or any type of game at that matter. Okay. Because we talk ish. You a little too sensitive, my guy. Not everybody knows how to open a bottle of anything, okay? Doesn't mean that you're incapable of learning or it's a problem with you. We seen the guy off of whatever that last show was. They just came out on he couldn't do open a wine, but he tried. I think he tried. I can't remember. He didn't know what the wine cork was. He didn't know what the key was. He didn't understand it. It's okay. You probably just don't drink. It's okay, Tim. But to sit here and say, hey, remind me to tell you something later, and this is what you want me to remind you to tell me? Like, Negro, if you don't get the hell out of my face, because wasn't nobody trying to embarrass you. Guess what? You embarrass yourself for sitting here having this conversation with me. If you don't go on about your day, sir, please go away from me with this. Tim, go away from her with this, okay? Alex, you should have this. No, this is after the B word. This is after the B word. So yeah, I can see why he's still trying to feel like you trying to embarrass him, because you don't already called him a B. So now everything that you say is going to go back to him being called a B. Oh, she think I'm a B because I can't open the bottle. Oh, she think I'm a B because I can't tie my shoes. Oh, she think I'm a B because see how you messed up. This is how you messed up, Alex. You cannot do this. You cannot call certain people out their name. Tim is certain people, okay? So nothing you could do could say anything to do anything, because first of all, you ain't apologized. You ain't apologized. You don't even feel bad about calling him out the thing. That's how you felt. That's how you felt. That's how you felt. I'm not mad at how you felt. I'm mad that you choose to feel that way and still act like you're gonna marry this man. Stop playing in my face, Alex. Stop playing in my face, girl. Stop it.
Turned into, you're not listening. And I'm like, I'm trying to just understand why you thought that and how we can adjust moving forward, because my humor, if you don't like my humor, that's also going to be kind of an issue, because I also don't want to offend you, but what do I have to change? And he kind of took that as, you're not listening to me, and you just have to understand that if I say this is how it goes. If I say I'm upset about it, and leave it at that. Can't really be a discussion. And that's kind of how he handled a lot of things, which was, if I'm upset, I'm going to tell you I'm upset. You say you're sorry and move on. No dissecting it, no understanding what made you upset, no just understanding the whole thing as a whole. It was just, that's it. And that's, I like to talk things out. I like to have a better understanding. So that's where we clashed a lot. So
is it, you know, like
I could see clashing like that. I think I'll clash with somebody like that. For sure. For sure. Like, I'm trying to learn you and you're shutting me down. You're shutting me out and just be like, hey, you just need to accept who I am. Bro, I don't know who you are. I ain't accepting. I'm going to tell you now. So you better tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Somehow I need to figure out who you are. I'm not accepting, because what I'm going to accept, you don't want that. So if you want me to want you, you better help me figure it out. And you better have these conversations. We're not just shutting it down, buddy. We're not doing that. Tim, you cannot just do that. Tim, the women is getting less docile these days. I don't know. You sounding like you trying to be a passport bro. And guess what? They ain't having it over there anymore either. They tired of y'all going over there trying to make fun of them on the internet, and they seeing themselves being laughed at and all. And them women is not getting docile, baby. Everybody want to talk about emotions these days, baby. You better get used to yours. You're going to have some conversations. Tim? Exactly. Exactly. He should have left. Hello? Is he there with you right now? All in his feelings. Stop being emo. Come on now, Tim. Tim, you cannot be emo. You cannot be emo, but don't want to explain why you emo. Come on, you cannot do that. That's a flag on the play. You cannot do that, Tim. You cannot. You got to tell a person why you feel in such ways so they know not to do it again. This is how you help people not cross your boundaries. You tell them what the boundaries are. Hey, I don't play like this. I don't do the jokes like this. Okay. I don't come from one of them type families, So therefore we can go our separate ways, because you'll just know, hey, I come from one of them type families. My family going to make you want to fight somebody. If y'all know how hard we was laughing on my mom's birthday at one of my cousins, we was going in. I mean, it was kiki, like your stomach and chest is hurting, laugh so hard how we was going in. It's just how he is. And guess what? That cousin laughed right with us, because it's really all love. It ain't nothing to hurt nobody or nothing like that. We're not malicious with it. I don't think she was malicious with it either. So Tim, you got to calm that down, baby. You got to calm that down. Let's see, what is this next part? Tim's ego. So we get that. I guess we can go into Tim's ego a little bit. Let's see what they got to say about his ego, which is the same as Alex's ego, but we're going to see. We're going to see.
I want to be completely fair to Tim as I do this, because I really think that vocabulary is.
Why people lie in the beginning and be talking about, I want to be completely fair to somebody that's not there. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Lady, don't lie. Don't lie. Don't do that. Ma'am. I was about to tell you what your people are used to doing, but don't do it. Don't do it, ma'am.
It's important, but I want to ask some of the things that bothered Tim. You calling him a bitch, okay? In a comment, the comment he made at the reunion. Y'all women want someone to take you so seriously.
Yeah.
First of all, Alex, don't get big-eyed on the y'all women part when you called him a man, a B, because the men don't like when we call him a B. So don't get mad when he start going y'all women. Now we're gonna get into that y'all women comment with Tim, but don't get mad and start looking you all crazy-eyed in the eyes and stuff like that when he say y'all women, because hello. He meant y'all women that like to call men bees. That's who he talking to. He talking to y'all women. All right. I don't say it out loud too often. I know how the men get, you know what I'm saying? So unless I feel like I could beat them up, I try not to get it. Y'all know anybody named Drake. You know anybody named Drake be a little sensitive, okay? They be wearing barrettes, ponytails. You know, they're a little sensitive. Y'all gotta be careful with a Drake. Y'all gotta be careful with a Drake, okay? Okay. Drake's turning into Draco, so y'all be careful with a Drake, all right? Just be careful. She was not docile at all, baby. Tim mom was not docile. So that's why I be trying to figure out, like, she gonna say some stuff like that later on in the thing. That's the type of woman that he's probably been dating. I think he's probably been dating those type of women to stay away from ones like his mom. But obviously those ain't got him nowhere because Tim is a problem. Tim is a problem. But we're not going to act like Alex ain't one either. She just out here willy-nilly because they're going to gloss over the fact that she called him a B. Like, you see how fast that's the part when you called him a B. And but he got on the reunion and was just like, y'all women. Don't try to put me up in this. She called him a B. I ain't fighting for her. She said, I got him, sis. When she called him a B, that's what she told me. I got him, sis. Don't worry about me. I said, okay, do you, sis? You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, ma'am. Don't do it. These two here. Oh, Lord. I need a man to explain to me, because of course I'm not a man. I can identify as a man. I can be adjacent to men. I have been called a pick-me for some strange reason. I really don't know, but of course I like to be picked by men. Hell, I like to be chose by men. I like to be desired by men. I have been called male identified. I feel like, though I know the answer to this, I would still like a man to explain to me how easy it is to emasculate a man. Making it seem like it's very hard to emasculate most men. And that calling him a B shouldn't have had emasculated him some way, somehow. That's the impression that I'm getting by this interviewer. I don't really know her name, so please forgive me. I do understand that it should have been a dog in him, and he should have understood the reference to it. That's how I feel, especially in my joking manner. I feel that he should have known that I'm just saying that you're acting like a female dog, not a male dog right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're whining a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go outside because you want to get some. I would have thought he would have understood that too. However, I do feel like there's a rule book somewhere that said that, most men don't take to being called a B, even by other men. So let alone a woman doing it, especially if he is of the traditional type, the old school type, yeah, I feel like that's one of the ways he can be emasculated. I'm not really sure, Did I catch the interview where Alex said that Tim told her that he had doubts? He also said that he was still willing to move forward with her. This is before she met his family. Yeah, it was the night before, right after meeting her family, where he didn't tell her dad that he had doubts, but he told her. So that's where I was like, why are you still going through this? You had some vendetta that you were still trying to execute in this or whatever. So yeah, Tim is definitely a problem. Tim is not off the problem list, but I'm adding Alex on there. She's just a secret villain. Okay. If y'all don't know, this is a villain in waiting. Alex is a villain in waiting. All right. If you can call a man a B and still have this face right here, because you don't give a F, you're not sorry about it at all. This is a face of a person that is not sorry they called you. This is, I said what I said. Okay. That's Alex's face. I said what I said. Tim is, you said what you said was some bullshit. Alex, I said what I said, boo. For real. I'm not. If I'm feeling inclined to like call you that, and it's just not out of like, I've been in one of my modes and I've been talking to the homegirls or some stuff like that, and I'm just running off at the mouth, and I'm just like going, and I'm actually consciously thinking about calling you a B. Like, I'm really consciously thinking about this. Like, oh, let me figure out how to shut this B up. Yeah, I don't want you. You're not my type of guy. Because me personally, how I think and how I operate, I just don't feel like emotionally you're going to protect me. You might be able to protect me in other ways, but emotionally you're not going to be able to protect me. So I don't want to be with you. But that's just me. I'm not Alex. I don't know what her logic was for staying in this situation.
Feel like you were almost unable to express yourself because you need to sort of not stroke his masculinity, but I don't even know what other phrase.
Stroke his ego. Correct. Yeah. Okay. That's literally what it was. I learned that later, like throughout dating him, that okay, this is something deeper than me. If I called him something else, I don't think he would have reacted like that. But calling him that, and him saying y'all, you were talking to me, who's y'all? So it was like, it seemed like he was dealing with this with women a lot. Like this isn't the first time he's experienced this in a relationship.
I sort of had that impression too. So
I don't think it was the first time he's experienced this in a relationship. That's why he was so vexed and ready to get back at you. You triggered him from something else. However, do I feel like you even care that you did it? No. You have any remorse that you did it? No. Child, this one is the Joker. This was the Joker right here. Let me go to, where is this lady? This lady, I'm gonna tell y'all this lady. Where is her thing? Gumball Love. If y'all ever watch her breakdown, she does a breakdown on the Tim and Alex situation a bit, and she breaks down Tim a lot. And I like the way she describes it, because she says that he's basically a man that's looking for compliments. He's constantly fishing for compliments. He's constantly looking for being acknowledged and recognized for different things that he does, says, and do, how he behaves, whatever. And I think it's so spot on the way that she breaks it all down, because it definitely is describing what is starting to happen in this situation. See, everything so far Tim was trying to do is show you that he is the smartest man in the room. He is the prize. He is something to value or whatnot. And when we get into real life, he realizes that in comparison, I just might not be that guy. So now I'm worried about what everybody else is thinking. more so than anybody, Alex, because that's the person that I chose. So when she calls me a B, and we see that he is so hurt by that. He is so hurt by that. That now everything that he has done is focused on not being a B, is not being this type of way, but it eventually makes him all the things that he's afraid of. Because instead of Tim changing the parts of himself that he doesn't like so he can remain his true, authentic self, he rather mask those parts of him. But the mask is only going to stay on for so long. Eventually, Tim is going to be Drake. Drake is going to be Tim. He cannot be separate from them. If y'all watch The Substance, you'll understand what I mean by this. You can sit here and pretend to be somebody else, but at the end of the day, the two are still one. So there's parts of Tim that Tim needs to get comfortable with himself so he can have a successful relationship. It's the same thing I said about Marissa earlier in this live. You need to show up as your authentic self all the time. Let people decide if that's the person that they want or not. It is okay if people come and go out of your life. Not everybody is meant to stay in your life. This is how you discern and you get rid of people that's not supposed to be in your life. Show up as you. Stop pretending to be what that you think they want you to be. Be you. Let them love you for you. Because then when that mask fall off, guess what? It's still you underneath there. There's parts of Tim that Tim needs to learn about himself that he won't be called this all the time. Because you won't be worried about if somebody feels insecure about you. Yeah, because he's looking for the accolades all the time. He's looking for, I've done all of this. What do you reciprocate to me? You don't praise me for this and stuff like that. I watched somebody very close to me do this type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of almost jeopardized their relationship or whatnot, because it's like, are you doing these things out of the kindness of your heart? Are you doing it to get something back? Are you doing it to be seen? Are you doing it because you actually just love the person you want it done? Stop doing stuff for people's appraisals. Like, everybody's not going to give it to you. Do it because it makes you feel good on the inside. And that's all that actually matters. You know what I'm saying? It hates to say it like that, but that's the truth. You do things because you can and you want to, because you love that person or you care for that person or whatever and stuff like that. But don't look for a return on some of the investments that you make. Sometimes they don't come back like that. They don't come back that quickly. Like, Tim strikes me as a guy that understands stocks and investments and stuff like that. You know, some of your investments are not quick turnarounds. Some of them are long-term investments that you just got to sit on. Those might be like the more riskier ones and stuff like that sometimes, because you just don't know over time if it's going to manifest into something great. But that's the beauty of it, is that you're taking that chance to make sure that it does invest in something great, because when it does pay off, it pays the freak off. So Tim has to understand that sometimes I'm investing good deeds into something great coming back to me later on. He wants quick transaction relationships. Like, that's not longevity, baby. You got to put some time into some things and just understand you might not get stuff back right away. It's not microwave love. That's not what you want. You want old school Italian risotto love, like Nero stirring over the pot for some hours, constantly pouring in some stock, making sure that it hits right. I don't know. But I guess when you sign up for a microwave love on the show, there it is. Just like the damn microwave fries she made.
So thank you for clearing that up, because it's just something that I sort of noticed.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair to say it came off very misogynistic when you add all of the comments kind of together.
Yeah. And unfortunately, even with the reunion, I was really he just wanted out. But I don't know. I just feel like there was something else deeper that he was dealing with. And
I don't know how Alex so aware of like everything else going on, but she's not aware that she gave the answer to this already just 2 seconds ago. Like y'all just gave the answer to this 2 seconds ago. It's clearly something that he has already been dealing with. Hold on 1 second. I'm on live right now, babe. Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Just gave 2 seconds ago that is clearly something that he is dealing with. He has dealt with before. Like women have gone down this path of saying something similar of nature or whatever and stuff like that. So yes, the answer is right there, boo. You don't need no more clarity. You called him a B. You offended this man. You cut him emotionally. Words hurt, sweetie. Sometimes like words cut deeper than a knife ever will. So it's just like, ma'am, what are you talking about? What clarity do you need? You triggered and opened a wound that's already been there. Yes, this is something that he does need to work on and he needs to fix, and only he can do it for himself. But ma'am, there's nothing clearer than the fact that you called this man outside of his name at a time that you said that you wasn't trying to say anything offensive to him. That you were just trying to calm him down because you didn't want him to be painted as the angry black man on television. Yet you do the things that's going to make him the angry black man on television. So what freaking clarity do you need? Like, come on, be for real. Like, stop playing right now. Let me skip to this part right here because we're going to get to this thing. This part right here took me out, child. I had to stop watching this. I know I watched most of this stuff on Love Lens Reviews channel. Shout out to him because he did a whole breakdown on this. You go over to his channel. I was at the end of this live, I believe. We and him had some dialogue back and forth. We talk about this thing or whatever that's going on here. This is him and Kojo, Little Black Book 91. Please go over to his channel and watch part 1 of his breakdown. I think he's going to do a part 2 of it. But they talk about all of this already and stuff. But this part, like me listening to it, like officially, this is like, okay, because I wasn't going to do this. I actually wasn't going to do this video because everybody else had broke it down. But then I got taken out on this part twice. I got re-triggered twice. Okay, so I got triggered the first time I heard it on Love Lens Reviews channel. And then when I would listen to it again today, I was like, I need therapy. I need therapy at this point because y'all gonna make me go through a screen and reach out and touch someone, okay? Child.
All I can say is that I extend so much empathy for you, and I'm a warrior on TikTok with the videos and the comments. Don't talk about Alex. Like, so, like, you know, I'm here to say, like, I just think that that's very unfortunate because it really didn't feel fair. It felt like you were very conscious to the point where your only intention, like, if you weren't so cautious of protecting him, you wouldn't have motioned to de-escalate the conversation. It would have been,
Calm down. Ma'am, I understand you a big Alex warrior. I appreciate you, girl. Fight the power. Girls power, okay? Say what now? Minimize the conversation by calling him a B. I don't know where in de-escalating one-on-one handbook that it say call a person a B is going to sit here and minimize a situation, child. I really have not read that. Maybe that's in 102 or 201 or 301 or the graduate level of de-escalating. I probably never made it that far up there, but I have not yet to see where calling somebody a B is going to de-escalate any situation. Man on woman, woman on man, woman on woman, man, oh man, when we're in a heated discussion, I just don't see where that is going to de-escalate anything. So, ma'am, I understand that Alex goes around telling everybody that she was trying to de-escalate the situation, but no, she wasn't. No, she was at that point, she gave up on de-escalating, okay? At that point, she gave up on de-escalating. She may have won the de-escalation conversation with the hand to shh in the face or whatever she wants to claim it was. But the calling him a B is never going to de-escalate anything, especially when there's drinking involved. I have yet seen a person be called a B or anything outside of their name while drinking in an argument de-escalate anything. She work in a bar or in an environment where alcohol is, like I do. Alex, I know for sure that you know de-escalating tactics when you have to cut somebody off for drinking. It's not an easy process cutting a person off for drinking, okay? Because they'll call you every name under the book and you got to sit there and eat it. But what we don't do is call them a B back and be like, well, I just de-escalated the situation. So as much as you're a rider, you're a warrior for this black beautiful queen, this night I can't even play. I can't even play right now. Nubian queen called Alex. Don't do that. Don't do that, ma'am. Don't lie in our people face. Don't do that. Don't do it. Tell her the truth. She was not de-escalating shit. Alex, you were not de-escalating shit. That's a lie. Calling him a B was not de-escalating a damn thing. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a whole lie.
Like that, he had said it again, because him and Tyler had a whole conversation a couple days later about how I protect him so much and he loves that I protect him. And so for him to just be so oblivious and now just, okay, yeah, people are saying you abuse me or whatever. But let me just write a paragraph about this. But that is, you can say whatever you want about me, but that I need to be very clear. Like, call me on my name, I don't care. Say I'm mean, I don't care. Like, one thing I'm not is abusive. I've never gotten into a fight a day in my life. And so for even my friends and family to know that that was what has been manipulated in turn was very shocking, because they're like, of all the things.
How is it manipulated, ma'am? Do you know this whole situation was not brought on camera? This whole situation was not caught on camera. It was brought on camera by y'all. And when I went back to watch it, you the one who said about the hands anywhere. Now, yes, it wasn't in abuse form. He did at the reunion say it was not an abuse form. But ma'am, because he does not speak up either way does not mean it's being manipulated. He just choosing not to speak up. He's still not really speaking up on a lot of stuff. He's choosing on what he want to speak up about. Yes. He's choosing what he wants to post about. Yes. But ma'am, have you publicly apologized? Regardless if we've seen it or not, did you actually apologize to this man? Because yet we have yet to hear that you actually said you're sorry. I don't recall. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Correct me. Leave me a comment, whatever, down below. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Do I need to go watch the reunion again? And she says that she is sorry for calling him a B. I do recall her saying, yeah, I called you a B because you was acting like one. But I do not recall her saying, I am sorry, I shouldn't have called you out your name. Now, if she said that, and she said it before the reunion, please let me know. Send me the screenshot, send me the proof that she has done this before the reunion or whatever. But I don't recall her saying it. So why do you expect that he's supposed to defend something that you brought on camera? We wouldn't have known that you went there. For a person, you know, it'd be killing me too. For people that never be getting into fights, they be having a mouth. It remind me of shout out to Candace Dillard and Chris Bassett for having their first baby, okay? Dillard Bassett and Chris, congratulations to y'all. But it remind me of Candace. Candace would get popped in the mouth with her by her mama's pocketbook, but she be having a lot to say. And then as soon as somebody come bop her upside the head, she'd be like, I was just using my words. It be the people that I ain't never got a day. I ain't never gotten a fight a day in my life, but always be ready to have some stuff come out their mouth that's fighting words. It's crazy to me. Calling a man as fighting words, Alex, for a person that never had. Let me educate you. Let me educate you right now. For a person that has never had a fight a day in their life, I would advise you not to call a man who has been drinking, a man, period, a woman who has been drinking, a woman who is not your friend and do not know you, a B. Some people fight. I'm not advising anybody to fight. I'm not condoning violence, but some people fight. Some people fight off of words. So I advise you, for a person who don't know if they are capable of fighting back at all, I would advise you not to use such words. Now, you seem like a very intelligent, smart girl. I think there's a lot of vocabulary that you can use that can still get your point across. Just don't use that word. Call him an unstable creature. He might not understand where that's coming from, but you know where it's coming from. He's an unstable creature. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just acting like an unstable creature right now. I don't know about you. Sometimes you got to say it like that. You know what I'm saying? But I would not advise. And listen, I don't like giving out advice. You can take it or leave it. But in my experience, calling somebody a B never goes well for anybody. So I advise you, for a person who has never gotten into a physical altercation a day in your life, that you shouldn't do that. I would say you should not do that, because you may be in a physical altercation for the first day of your life. So yeah, if you want to keep that good record of not doing that, and you want to die with that on your record, that's a beautiful thing. But I also advise not calling people out their name. You know what I'm saying? Some people, real quick, you know what I'm saying? Something come out your mouth real quick, okay? So I'm just saying, that's not what you want to do, all right? If anybody is out there, please send me a link to give me the minute mark to where she apologized and says sorry, because I have not yet seen it yet. She wants this man to defend something she brought on camera. Y'all make that make sense to me, okay? Everybody that is an Alex stan out there, y'all come to me and tell me, how does that make sense? Make it make sense for me, all right? I'm not a Tim fan. I'm not an Alex fan. I am a fan of the truth, and it's somewhere in the middle of both of these stories that she keeps telling everybody. Tim ain't told no stories. Tim is just trying to show receipts that tell us shit, okay?
That's not you. And why isn't Tim saying anything? And so I'm just happy he at least said something at the reunion, but I just would have appreciated if he had said something prior, since he was very vocal on social media, and after, when he was posting more personal.
Where you spoke on social media to tell him you were sorry? Why are you expecting this man? Why y'all got it beyond measure? You know what I'm saying? Like, you expecting this man that you call to be to protect you about the physical part. You know what I'm saying? He's still on the emotional part of it. You want him to protect you on the physical. He's still hurt by the emotional, but you worried about the physical. Oh, okay.
Text messages. So I just wanted accountability. Absolutely. And I took accountability with him, and I've tried to take accountability multiple times, but we could never even really get far in our conversation without. But this happened. The facts are facts. This is what.
Ma'am, here's your opportunity. You don't need Tim to get far in the conversation of accountability, because accountability is personal. It's about you. You don't need to have a conversation with somebody. You could sit here and tell this lady right now, I am actually really sorry that I called him a B, and I wish we could have had the conversation about it. I wish we could have resolved that issue. I wish we could have got further in the conversation so we could resolve some issues between us, but we didn't. But you know what? I am truly sorry that that came out of my mouth because I was frustrated at the time. And usually, like I say, I don't like to get into that space, but he just, I'm not trying to blame him for anything, but he just kept literally just like in my ear, and all I can do is just try to shut him up. And when I did that, that's what came out of my mouth. And that's not what my intent was, because like I said, I don't like to speak when I'm mad, because I go there. I do. And I'm sorry I had to go there with him. She ain't got to use like half of those words I use. You know what I'm saying? I think I gave a lot. I gave a lot of words for her to play with, manipulate, rearrange, fit whatever she wants to fit. But I am sorry. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should have been something up in there to the degree of,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry! 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 I'm sorry!
even though we know she's not actually sorry. I mean, if you watch this movie, you know Shannon wasn't sorry, but at least he said it. One of them sorries might have been true. One of them, she might have been sorry a little bit. She might have been sorry that it came out of her mouth. Even if she was sorry that it came out of my mouth, I thought it out loud. Like, I was thinking it and it just blurted out, I'm sorry. I still think he a little B, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean for him to hear me say it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for him to hear me say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck. Hey, it slipped out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You already know that Ayana Vazat, whatever her name is, Ayana, she hates when you say, I'm sorry if I hurt you, if I did any, you know what I'm saying? But hell, I would have even took that. Sorry if I hurt your feelings. Sorry if I touched your heart, Tim. Y'all know I'm good for a sorry if I touched your anything. You know what I'm saying? Especially your heart. Y'all know I'm good for a sorry I touched your heart. Baby, if she'd at least gave the sorry I touched your heart, Tim, I'll be with this lady here on ride with Alex all the way through, baby. She's sorry she touched your heart, Tim. She didn't know it was that, that it was that close. It was that close to the surface. She didn't know it was that close to the surface for you. You know what I'm saying? She's sorry. She didn't mean to. Give that girl some grace. You know what I'm saying? She didn't mean to hit you like that. She didn't know it was gonna hit home. She didn't know she was gonna score a home run off of that one. She didn't know it. She didn't know. Okay. She looked up. Who knew? Who knew? In the 9th inning, bases loaded, 2 strikes, 3 fouls. You know what I'm saying? Who knew? Who knew she was going to hit a real home run with that one? Okay. Had she said, sorry, I touched your heart, Tim, she can have a case right now for how he not defending her. But ma'am, please be quiet. Please be quiet. Okay. Hush. Hush it. Hushay. Hashay. Hashay, ma'am. Hashay.
What happened? And I'll take, okay, yeah, I didn't show up to meet up with your family with flowers. And I did have my hand in my pocket, and that probably wasn't the best. But one thing that also wasn't said was, I asked him, what do your parents like? Should I bring them anything? And he said, do not bring them anything. Don't bring my mother flowers. Don't bring my father liquor.
You know how she just ran on? I don't know if this is edited like this or not, but she kind of just ran on. I'm not really sure. She just kind of ran on to this. He was supposed to defend me, but okay, so what if I didn't show up for your parents the way you wanted me to show up? You should have still defended me. So what if I called you a bee? Okay. So what if I spit on your dog and kicked them in the balls? It does not matter, Tim. You should have been there for me. I needed you, Tim. I needed you. I could have came down the steps with my hands out to your parents, but I didn't. So what? They drove when they could have flew. So freaking what? I'm just saying. She goes on to talk about how she met Tim's friends, and I want to get to this part because, like I said, I think there is something to some of the women that Tim does date or whatnot. Let me see. I'm just skipping through this thing to see which one. Share some cats, interrupt, ruin your conversation, social media posts. Okay. I think it is something to some of the women that Tim do date, though. I think he is used to certain women. But Tim, you set yourself up for this. You was talking about how your mama told you that you need a woman that bark back. You need a woman like your mama. Okay, that's what she told you. You need a woman that's gonna show you you. Welcome to you, Tim. Alex is you. This lady right here is you, Tim. That's you, baby. That's you in a dress. Okay, that's you in a woman form, Tim. She just played a better Tim. That's just my opinion. She's a better villain than Tim is. So y'all like to say Tim is a villain because y'all don't recognize real villainry when y'all see it. See, real villainry shows up like this. Real villainry will sit there and expose other villains before they expose themselves. She exposed Tim and then went on all these podcasts and exposed herself. But she got Tim first. So all y'all looking at Tim like Tim is the ultimate villain. When Alex over here like, haha, tricked you all, got the world. Suckers.
I had not seen my friends in literally 3-4 weeks. And I was like, babe, I'm sorry. I know we have our pair meetup tomorrow, but I need to go out. I have not seen my girlfriends in a month. I want to have a girls' night, like bad. And so we went out, and then I called him at like 2 a.m. because he's my fiance. Come get me. Like, who else is gonna come get me? But I end up calling Uber and bring myself home, so it's fine.
Okay, wait, pause, because I had this as a question. Did your friends meet Tim then, or was this just a friend? What was the thoughts? What happened?
Only one friend liked him. None of my friends liked him.
What was
my cousin actually hated him. Yeah. So and again, communicating on how to present yourself. Also, prepping for that. Hey, you're my friends. My friends are very vocal. They are very direct. Not Hannah direct. They're very direct, and they call it out. One of my really good girlfriends, she had an ex-boyfriend who was in the military. My cousin and I have known each other literally since my birth. And then I have my 2 other close girlfriends, and they just know me. And they asked all these questions that unfortunately he was not prepared for. And I think in his mind, he kind of had a script. Because even when my friends watched the show, they're like, he said all that to us. But a lot of the things that he was saying, it just wasn't good for their questions. Like, I think one of the questions they had asked was, how do you communicate, or, do you go to therapy? And, being in the Navy, have you ever been to therapy? And he was like, no, I have Alex for that. And I remember I looked at him and I was like, what, you do? And he was like, yeah, no, I just pour out to my friends and family and Alex, but I really just pour a lot in.
You want some puppy? You want some? Not this man just like, oh yeah, I just dump on my friends and family. Oh. Tim, what the frick? Tim, what the frick? I gotta say allegedly, okay? Because this is Alex speaking, so we don't know for sure. All right, until the friends or somebody else come out. But what the frick? But you know what? We can know for sure because we seen it in the pods. That dude was just dumping everywhere. Like, bruh, let me tell you about what happened to me in the 8th grade. Oh man. It was at lunchtime. I remember we had taco boats that day. Taco boats is my favorite, man. I get about 2 hot sauce packages and stuff. And I was wearing overalls that day. My favorite ones, they had the little patch on the side. My mama put it on there for me and stuff. And I had like this haircut at the time. I thought I was fly. I thought I was a real fly guy. That dude just be on some like other stuff. Like, I did not ask for none of this, Tim. I didn't ask for not one. You did not prep me to let me know that you were going to dump on me. So the fact that you go just tell her friends, no, I'm not going to therapy. I just have her. You just met this lady, sir. How do you have her? This is why his love language is. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you out, Tim. Your love language is a lady that listens. It's not listening, because listening is not a two-way street for you, Tim. It is a lady that listens, okay? Because you want to just be able to dump all your stuff on people, and you want free therapy from people, and you go about your business now while they carrying all your emotions. All right. No, it does not work for like that. See, therapists are paid to do what they do because they know how to dump your emotions off elsewhere once you leave their presence. Everybody not built like that. You just cannot be sitting here, oh, you're my friend, I'm going to dump on you. No, that's no, Tim, no. Alex, the frick. Ma'am, you're sounding like somebody's doormat. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you this now. You sound like somebody's doormat. This man been dumping on you in the pods, and then he get out the pods and say, "Yep, I got her to just dump everything that I'm going through. Anything I feel, I'm gonna just dump it on her. I don't care how she feels. I don't give a damn about how she feels. Hear me when I say this. Not one damn about how this woman feels, because I'm too busy telling her and expressing how I feel. That's all that matters in this relationship, is how I feel. It does not matter about anybody else's feelings. None of y'all. Matter of fact, let me tell y'all a story. That is Tim. Let me tell y'all a story. Hey, that's a great story, but I got one better. That is Tim. That is definitely the love language. Like what? The what? The fuck? Oh my God. Let me wrap this up, because I got another live coming back right after this. We just gonna have open conversations, baby. It might be some of this, it might be some of that, but we're gonna have some open conversations. Let me see, because I can't remember what else. Let's see. She say shocking a breakup. Let's see what's in this part, because I don't really know.
Breakup. And Tim leaves the apartment. Now, I'm like keeping in mind that he tried to leave the experience once already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you were balancing that and navigating that. When you guys are having this conversation, we know as viewers that sometimes you have to recreate a conversation that's already been had off camera. Did you have any inkling this was coming, or was it truly food out the microwave? Let's sit down, talk shocked.
I had no idea. And
first of all, ma'am, we're not going to skip over the food off the microwave. Ain't no way. Okay. First of all, the food better have just been sitting in the microwave and not been warmed up in the microwave, because this heifer had fries and chicken wings, baby. She better not have microwaved them damn fries. Ooh, it better just been sitting in there so nothing else the air wouldn't touch it or whatever, just waiting for me to come pick it up later. I don't want to put it in the refrigerator because I don't want it to be cold, because I got to warm it back up some kind of way somehow. So it just better been that it was sitting in the microwave waiting for you to come and get it, not that you would actually reheated this thing up in the microwave. Please tell me that you didn't do that. Okay, I'm gonna let it go.
And that scene was not, we had no scenes that we had to recreate. So when people have said that, I'm like, well, maybe that was your experience, but all of our scenes were raw right then and there. I honestly thought I was walking into us discussing what we had been talking about, which is the conversation that we had at dinner, or, where do we stand as like, our emotions with each other. Not that I was being dumped over in that. Like, I literally didn't know I was walking into a breakup, and it just didn't seem, I didn't get that vibe at all. And then once I sat down, I'm like, oh wait, this is definitely not what I thought it was.
So you were as confused as us, because I have literally tried to take notes. I've tried to rewatch, and I can't even come up with a reasoning for the breakup or any context.
We had problems. Not gonna negate that at all.
Right.
We definitely had our issues. I, again, just didn't think our issues held the weight of a breakup when we went into it with so much heaviness. He had given me his deceased sister's bracelet and said, I want to bring you into my family and give my parents another daughter. And what they didn't show is he had given me his sister's hat the day before that. So I knew he was giving me something else the next day that was going to be even heavier. And it was just like so much weight, so much emotion that went into this. And yeah, some people can call it trauma bonding. Probably was a lot of trauma bonding in that. I'm not going to negate that either. But I thought with us ending things on such a surface level, with such a nap, dishes. Euphra didn't text me back. It didn't make sense because I'm like, I was like begging him to give me, you've got to give me something else. And that's what I was looking for the reunion. Like, just say we're compatible. Right. I would have been like, look, I just don't think we're compatible. I've tried. I feel like we just don't see eye to eye, and we just need to end things now because I'm not going to say yes. I would have respected him 10 times more for that. But trying to push a narrative on I'm lazy, I don't clean, I don't communicate, was just BS, because all I've been doing is overly communicating. I had cleaned the entire apartment before that. I like did both of our laundries. Like I had been doing everything that he had asked me to. We're talking about one time I didn't do the dishes, one time I took a nap before I had to go to work. That's just not fair.
So when you,
I do agree that he should have been better prepared to give you a better answer than he gave you. But that was the answer that he gave you. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He should have never gave you the hat. Definitely should have never gave you the bracelet just to be able to snatch it all back. Okay, that was wild. Like, bro, the fact that he's, try to make this whole thing. Oh, I don't know. It's in this interview. I think it's in this interview where she tried to make it seem like, oh, him bringing the car down. Let me see if I can find it. Him bringing the car down was selfish of him or whatever and stuff like that because he didn't have the parents fly or whatnot. The parents is going to do what they're going to do. I don't see it. I don't know where it's at. Okay. I don't know. But the parents is going to do what they're going to do. It's not a selfish thing for him to sit here and ask his parents because from what I recall, he said in the pause that the parents was coming down with the car, the sister car and his dog, that they were driving it down. So this was something that was pre-planned. It had nothing to do with you or the show or anything like that. It just happened to align that they made time to do it within the show. So they did a 2-for-1. Okay, we bring you the car and we go ahead and record the show. That's what it sounded like to me. I don't know how it becomes a selfish thing that he just had to have the parents do this and it's going to make the mom do this type of thing or whatever and stuff like that. That has nothing to do with you, ma'am, or whatever and stuff like that. The mom has made a decision. Now, what I don't understand is, and maybe that's the plan that they wanted to drive back together, because if it was a selfish thing, even on his part, even on Tim's part, if it was a selfish thing, them driving 2 separate cars instead of the same car and then deciding to fly back gives me it wasn't selfish. It gives me that they're planning on having a nice little road trip with just the 2 of them on the way back to enjoy each other. The parents are enjoying each other on their way back to home because they could have easily took the flight. They could have easily both drove in the same car with the dog and took the flight instead of driving 2 different cars or whatnot. And I know I can't really remember where in this interview or if it's this interview that's is brought up, but that doesn't make no sense to me. I just remember hearing somebody bring that up or whatever, and I can't recall where I heard it from right now off the top. But that don't make no sense to sit here and try to make him selfish for the parents making a decision on how they're going to transport the car to him. He wants some of his sister things. Okay. When my grandmother died, I know exactly what I wanted. I didn't want nothing but a certain pot and one other thing in the dress that nobody even knew that I had because I've been having it already. There was nothing selfish about it. It was what I wanted from the stuff. If the mom says, hey, what do you want from your sister's things? He says, the car. The mom has so many other things of the sisters that she has. What's selfish about it? Continue to cover him. You've been covering, so you say, you've been covering him, so you say all this time. You've been trying to prevent him from being whatever. You don't have to not do anything. You don't have to make him look any type of way. He already looks some type of way. You don't have to add on to any of it. What he's doing on social media is already making him look some type of way. What he did on camera already makes him look some type of way. You don't have to add anything to it. That's what y'all don't realize about any of this stuff on the show. Y'all don't have to add to anything else. The audience has already made up their mind on what they feel about a person. So just talk about your part in it. Don't talk about anything else. Don't talk about anything else. Let me get through this because I got the next slide coming right back up. I want to take a look.
You guys filmed this and then a whole year passes before we see it. But you filmed this and had this conversation. At any point between now and the reunion, did you have an inkling that Tim would still be in a space where he
had asked him? I know all of the guys had asked him like, so what was it? Yeah, we got Tim. He just says it was good until it wasn't, and that's it. I don't know, and it bothered me a lot that not once did he try to reach out. And me, I guess I can be a little prideful, but if you tell me you never want to hear from me again, I'm not gonna go out of my way to contact you.
Same.
And so for me to just not get any of that, and even through like, the grapevine, and
y'all exhausting. Y'all too exhausting because y'all both the same. Y'all want what y'all don't give. You want an apology, he want one too, ma'am. Y'all both on on separate sides of the ring, waiting for the other to make a move. Okay. Apologize to yourself because you're not going to get it. You waiting for him to call, and like he's sitting there waiting for you to call. Neither one of y'all going to call. You waiting for the apology. He waiting for the apology. Neither one of y'all going to give an apology. So don't have no expectations when you get on these platforms. Don't do it. He said he never going to talk to you again, and he stood by his word. You said, okay, you stood by your word. Why are you expecting something that is not going to happen? Why you want to play in my face like this? I'm just going to tell y'all now, y'all can stop the team this and team that, because neither one of these people are better than the other. They just do things in different manners, but the things that they do is still not right. Neither one of them know how to communicate. She don't know how to communicate as well as she thinks she does. She tried to tell us, all I've been doing is communicating. So how do we get into the argument of calling him a hoe bee the first night? Because had you communicated in a manner that he understood that it was not about him, it was about your dad and being homesick, y'all shouldn't have got to a fight. Had you not called him a bee, he would not be continuously acting like one right now. Well, I don't know, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's a potential. I don't know. I don't really know Tim like that. So it's a potential that he could still be acting like one. I'm not really sure. But it's a chance that he probably won't be acting like that, because we would have never seen it. We would have never thought it. Might be a few of us that'd be like, you know what, he'll be. But most of us would not be thinking he's a bee because you didn't say it. So we're not going to think it. Now that you said it, now we thinking. We like, yeah, I see where you're going with that. It wasn't right, but I can see where you're going with that. I can see it. Would I call him that? I don't know. Maybe. I really don't know. I might. It depends on the situation. I might. I'm not going to hold y'all. I might just do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you this much. If I do it, I ain't done. We're done. Relationship done. That's it. Ain't going to be with no bee. That's for sure. Can only be one queen bee up in this, and that's going to be me, baby. So I'm just like, don't be team anybody. These two people need a lot of work. They got a lot of things they got to work on as individuals, okay? There's a lot to Alex that she needs to work on. Now, she could be the greatest supervillain out there. She got a lot less work in that department. But as far as a good, successful relationship, she got a lot of work to do. Because her and Tim are the same people. She just holds her composure a lot better. She reminds me of Joe Buttons. When I used to watch Joe Buttons and Tahiri interact. And Joe Buttons and what's that other one? His baby mama. I can't remember her name. When I used to watch them interact. Joe Buttons has a knack of being very calm and cool and collected in a situation, but at the same time, continuously get on your nerves and do little things to aggravate you, to escalate you. And they get with a person that's more emotional than them. And so we look at the more emotional person and say, oh, you're automatically wrong because you're emotional. When we don't look at the person who is making them emotional and say, hey, you should stop doing that to that person because you know they're emotional. That's Alex. Alex is the person we don't look at because we know Tim's emotional. We don't look at her and say, hey, stop making him emotional. We look at Tim and say, stop being emotional. But Alex, ma'am, you do little things. You do little things that make people emotional. So you got to work on some stuff, sis. All right. Anywho, I know most of y'all watching the fight or enjoying the fight, but I appreciate all those that came out tonight to watch some of this with me and break some of this down with me. I hope y'all do understand that it's no right or wrong in this, just people, you know, going through relationships. We go through this in relationships all the time. You know, there's different relationships that we have that play out like this. So when you start to get into a better self, you get into a better space, you know what I'm saying? And you want more, and you realize that being petty is not always the solution to every problem. You start to look at things a little bit differently. And so that's where I'm just at right now. I'm looking at some stuff differently because I have been on both sides of this coin. I have been where, you know what, I'm about to be petty and I'm about to just let the world know how petty it is. And then I've been with somebody more pettier than me. And it was like, all right, so I got to change my petty tactics. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, are they exposing themselves? I got to be a little bit more like Alex. Okay, let you expose yourself. Expose away, baby. Because guess what? I got plan B. I'm be a little bit more pettier. Now, in a race to be in the most pettiest, I for sure gonna win. But most successful in a relationship, that's not a race I'm gonna win being like that. So sometimes you gotta dumb down that urge. You gotta dumb down that urge to just have revenge or get vengeance on people and stuff like that, get your payback. You gotta sit there and say, you know what would the better self of me do? The better self might sit there and say, you know what? I know I'm going through something right now, but this person needs reassurance. This person needs a little bit more, and I care about this person enough to give them a little bit more. So let me give them a little bit more. This person needs to understand this is a boundary for me. So let me set up a strong wall so they know this is a boundary for me, so they won't do it again. Because I care enough about this person to at least let them know that there's a boundary here. I could just walk away, but I care about them enough to let them know that there's a boundary here. So respect my boundary. But it's still all in the way that we communicate with each other. And it's a growing process. I don't expect them to get it both right, you know what I'm saying, off the rip and stuff like that. But I hope that they do both look back at this relationship and learn a lot of it, because this is a once in a lifetime situation where you get to actually see yourself and how you show up in a relationship. And I hope they both look at themselves and say, you know what, these parts of myself can be improved on a little bit better. I know that I feel like I'm really good at this area, but I can be better. I can actually be better, because we can always be better in a lot of areas. So that's my message to y'all. I hope that y'all perform to be better in all your daily activities and your relationships with your partners as you continue to grow. You know, it's a life lesson. We're always students to life. It's always going to show us more to things to learn. So with that said, y'all have a great day. I'll be back here in 5 more minutes. 15 more minutes. I did give myself some grace period. Whew. Thank past self for thinking about future self's health. Okay, I got 15 minutes. I'll be right back here to just be talking about whatever y'all want to talk about. So if y'all here and y'all not watching that Mike Tyson fight or whatever that's happening, y'all come back and y'all let me know what y'all want to talk about. We might go over the Marissa video and stuff. Hopefully Elle said not too lit. Oh, and before I go, I'm gonna tell y'all this new little concoction that I made. It's pretty good. Okay, so I got me some vanilla. Got some vanilla syrup. I bought the vanilla syrup. Okay. I found this. Where's it at? So I wanted to show y'all. I found this new to the market. So it's new Kahlua. Kahlua has 2 new things. I am not getting paid by any of this. So please understand, this is just part of my brand, another round. Okay. So I'm not getting paid by any of these people to promote any of this stuff. So don't think I'm lying to you. All right. But Kahlua got 2 new flavors right now going on. So they got this one is the chocolate sips, and then they have a white chocolate. I'm not a white chocolate fan, so I didn't get it. All right, so I have that and some Jameson. So I'm calling this a chocolate sun. So I'm over here sipping on somebody's chocolate sun, baby, okay? It is really good. I do enjoy it very much, but it is not for the faint of heart, because if you're not a whiskey drinker, please don't sip on this, because Jameson is definitely a nice little whiskey. But I might remix it a little bit, because, you know, ain't nothing like Kahlua and Bailey's, baby. And I feel like a Bailey's will smooth this thing clean out. Okay. So it's a work on progress. But if y'all want tonight's drink is a chocolate sun. Okay. Get you somebody's chocolate sun and sip on it, baby. All right. I'm trying to tell you. And get you one with the veins that pop out. All right. Y'all have a good night. I'm out of here. Bye.